grass is green, the air is so clean. We gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh, once I yet, with values passed from generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same old fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright got too tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Oh, we sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old love and soul, that baby in our heart, getting like a thought ain't out in this fast-paced world we can fight. Traditions keep our hearts going wild. But goodbye in our hearts simple ways, we got it by the good old
days. In the diner sipping soda pop, jukebox tunes that never stop. I see faces print on different scenes, lost the culture on a different dream. We walk down the same old street, but our stories never meet. Different worlds side by side in this twisting 50s ride.
I thought the world would turn slower, not as fast as it does. Conservative hearts were steady, sure, and just because. A simpler time of values, when right was what it was. It seems like those days vanished with just a fleeting pause.
Right-wing dreams of yesterday, steady in the fray, keeping timeless traditions, leading all the way.
Are changing, feel the buzzing, staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights, with the star-spangled banner I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and free, with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. got, we make decisions for our dream through thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery, with liberty. In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old we'll keep, as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway, in the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive, in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
Reds are crawling like bugs tonight. Freedom's calling, gotta rise and fight. We'll stomp 'em out with all our might. Watch 'em scatter in fear and fright. Crushing commies beneath our shoes like tiny pests with nothing to lose. Crushing commies, our anthem strong. Stand united where we belong.
I'm glowing in the night, shining like a star in this atomic age, a brighter by far. Untouchable energy, it's a glowing affair. Ready and ready, I'll take you everywhere. I'm untouchable now, feel the power in the air. Radioactive rhythm, but sense without care. Electric and alive in this atomic embrace. Unstoppable now in this glowing space.
Birds are crawling like bugs tonight. Freedom's calling, gotta rise and fight. We'll stomp 'em out with all our might. Watch 'em scatter in fear and fright. Crushing commies beneath our shoes like tiny pests with nothing to lose. Crushing commies, our anthem strong. Stand united where we belong.
Times are changing, feel the buzzing. Staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision. In God we make decisions for our dream. True, thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery with liberty.
welcome to Culturama. Thank you for showing up. I apologize for the long wait. As Hillary Clinton says, sometimes it takes a woman longer. So thank you, everyone, for your patience. And we are back with the Culturama show, where we have a full segment today. So we can stay on as long as we want here on Culturama on Tuesdays. Thank you, everyone that has showed up. What a big news day we have coming up. I know I feel like I say that every news day, but this one seems to take the cake. Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair have gone into quite a tussle online. I will be covering that. Donald Trump suggesting he wants to run a third term. We're going to be talking about that as well. And the Daily Wire is downsizing. So we have quite a bit to cover, as well as much more news. And I want to thank you all for your patience and your excitement and dynamism for maintaining the present zeitgeist of traditional Americana, where we are fighting back against questionable cultures and the postmodern culture that has infected higher academic institutions and other institutions within the United States. So thank you, everyone. And as usual, I want to say hello to all of my usuals in the chat and even new people in the chat. And I see that we already have $5 and a $5 donation from Fiery Waco. Thank you so much, Fiery Waco, for your generous donation. I'll read that off in a second here. But I want to say hello to Bruiser55, I see. Of course, Fiery Waco, hello. Who else is this here in the chat? We have No Easy Answers. Hello, No Easy Answers. You said you are a Fed. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the Culturama stream. And let's see here. And of course, we have Nelson65. Hello, Nelson. Good to see you, and Helping Freedom, and I'm sure many more will come in. And of course, Mr. Peg is in the chat as well. Hello, everyone. Fiery Waco, you donated $5, so I'm going to read off your donation here first. You said, "Hey, what can I do to get Trump to pull out of NATO?" Okay, I see them as an obstacle to the plan. It's hard to trust the plan when we are part of NATO. This is true, Fiery Waco. You wrote, "Leaving NATO would increase chances of success by over 10%. Oh, you're, of course, talking about the Waco plan. Of course. I know you like to discuss that quite a bit on my show. Well, Fire Waco, it's very difficult to make a suggestion right now. But, what can I do? What can I do? You're asking what you personally can do to get Trump to pull out of NATO. That's a very good question. I don't know what you personally can do. I would say that being a fairly empowered electorate is what matters, of course, first and foremost. I'm a firm believer in empowering ourselves through education. And so if you educate, of course, you're very educated, Fairy Waco, but also if you educate your friends, your family, those closest to you, hopefully we can spread the word when the polls come up next time around. So we can, of course, get a person in that wants to pull us out immediately. However, as far as Trump is concerned, I wouldn't know what you can do to personally influence him. Perhaps you may want to have some individual time with Trump. I'm sure if you did, you can convince him, though, Fiery Waco, pretty quickly to pull out as soon as possible. Okay, always out of order, indeed. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining in Culturama. Pretty exciting stuff here. And yeah, we already have decent viewership so far on Rumble and on Twitter, but I highly encourage you guys to, of course, share, like the stream. First and foremost, like it. I don't know how many people have liked it so far, but we're always low on the likes. We have far more viewers than we have likes, so please go ahead and share the stream and like it. That goes a great deal in supporting this channel and this podcast and show. So thank you, everyone. And also, another way you can support us is, of course, like Fiery Waco has just done, by donating a Rumble rant and having me read it out loud. It could be any question, any comment, or if you want a particular news story that you want me to cover that I just haven't had the time or the chance to cover on this stream. Of course, I can't get to all of you guys' comments, so thank you so much for those that do join. And of course, I'll do my best to read all your comments, but I may not always read all of them in the timely manner, in the timely manner that I usually do. Sometimes I falter. I am, of course, human. So send in a Rumble rant, and that will go a long way in, having me notice you. And also, another thing, for those that are interested, I don't know if you all are, but we also have a meter here, the Unleash the Beast meter, as I call it. And some of you already know. For those that don't, I have a dysgenic canine friend here. So if we have $70 in donations, I will get my dog out here.
Monster kill.
That's just a little bit of an incentive for you guys to look for. Anyways, speaking of my dog, for those that are here, you're already aware of how my dog looks like. You know who he is, okay? For those that don't, maybe you'll be privileged enough to see him today. I don't know. It really depends on how the money comes in today, right? But for those that have seen my dog, I want to ask you guys something. Do you think there's something wrong with him? And before I do that, I noticed another $5 from No Easy Answers. They wrote Unleash the Beast.
Monster kill.
Very well, No Easy Answers. We're already $10 closer to our goal, so $60, and the beast will be unleashed, of course. Thank you so much, No Easy Answers. It is appreciated. Like I was saying, you guys, so let me pull this story up here. And by story, I mean my tweet. This is a good opener since I was just talking about my dog. But guys, do you think my dog has Cushing's disease? First of all, let me pull this up. So, Cushing's disease and elevated cortisol levels are a big talking point on Twitter. I'm surrounded by the right-wing health Maha grift on Twitter. Not saying I'm a part of it. I do follow some of them out of interest, maybe morbid curiosity, maybe I agree with them, maybe a little bit of both. But I did notice them talk about this dog, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at this tweet here and this dog, but apparently a dog with Cushing's, before and after lowering cortisol, the gaze, the belly, the posture. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? This is the dog before, and this is the dog after lowering his cortisol levels. For those that don't know what cortisol is, I probably should have actually pulled this up. Cortisol, okay? Cortisol is a steroid hormone produced in the adrenal glands located above the kidneys. I have to remind myself of what this means. I just know that stress increases it. And if you want to keep looking young, you just want to decrease your cortisol levels. That's all I know. But it plays a crucial role in regulating the body's response to stress, okay? So if your dog has high cortisol levels, they probably look a little bit like this. They have the lowered gaze, sort of the incel stance, the rotund belly here, a little bit of, beta male, incel, neck beard, weak paw. I don't know how else to say it. Bit of a chud dog. Yes, a little bit of a chud dog. Millions must chunk. And this is after just by lowering cortisol. It may not even have to be diet. And so if you guys have an overweight dog like me and you want to help him out, maybe try lowering their cortisol. And this is what the person suggested. You give them sugar, progesterone, and a pleasant scenery is how you can get your dog looking like this alpha Chad right here. Elevated gaze, stronger stance, leaner shoulders. Look, the belly sucked in. Look at that, you guys. Superior creature. Maybe he just has a cortisol issue. So that got me to thinking, does my dog have a cortisol issue? I mean, here his cortisol levels are probably rising. He's a bit stressed out, He's sleeping all the time. This is what bothers me about my dog. I make an effort to go out and run and exercise. I don't like exercising, but I find that if I don't exercise, I feel like every day to every other day, I don't want to over-exercise, and I highly stress, especially if you're a female. If there are females that watch this show, don't over-exercise. But I find that if I don't, I feel kind of sluggish, unmotivated, and so, it's a good practice to maintain and keep. And however, where I live, it gets pretty cold. When it's winter, I still make an effort to dress warmly and go out and run. It's not always the easiest thing to do. It gets pretty cold. I live pretty close to the Canadian border. I live up north. And when I go and run and my body's like overheating, I'm exercising, I'm going out there, I'm obviously, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, I suppose is why I have to run all the time. And I'm getting my adrenaline levels up, and I come home to the warmth of the house, and I come in and I see this. My dog, once a wolf, okay, he has been completely softened and betified by the human race. And it makes me question, look, I understand that he's a toy dog breed. He's not meant to run outside. He's not a German Shepherd. Okay, he's not even a Labradoodle, which are apparently extremely popular dogs for some reason. No offense if you own a Labradoodle. But I see this, and it kind of makes me a little disappointed in him sometimes. So, I'm trying to stiffen him up. I'm trying to force him to run with me. But no matter what I do to change his diet, what I do to get him to exercise, he just stays like this. And I wonder, do I have to get his T levels checked? What's going on with my dog? But it very well could be because his cortisol levels are so high. I don't know. Someone suggested, Nelson65 suggested giant hamster wheel. Very good suggestion, Nelson. I may have to look into that. I don't know how big they make hamster wheels. As you've seen Leo's size, they're going to have to make the hamster wheel pretty big for the beast to get in. Put him on the Gene Hackman diet, wrote Fiery Waco. Maybe Fiery Waco. I will have to look that up. No easy answers. Writing to donate. If you guys want to see the beast up close and personal, donate to the Leo Fund, and we will get him out here.
Monster kill.
Okay, you guys. In all serious news, I just want to bring that up. Maybe it's cortisol. Maybe it isn't. My dog is big boned. Maybe that's just what it is. But take this as a PSA that if your dog is not looking so hot, summer's coming up, you want them looking like this for the lady dogs. And we know what we call female dogs. If you want them looking good for them, maybe consider giving him progesterone and sugar. And he's often ready to get those female dogs closer to his encounter. Anyway, I don't suggest getting your dog a new car. I don't think that will get very far in getting female dogs' attention. Okay, you guys. Well, I have a lot of stories coming up. You stay tuned. The first story that I want to pull up is, of course, talking about Daily Wire. I know I've talked about Daily Wire quite a bit on this show, but they're still downsizing, and I'm going to be talking about that with you. So please stay tuned, and I shall return with the real news coming up here.
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep, as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway, in the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
Golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive, in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean. We gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh, was I in, with values passed from generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight in a heart to sing fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright, got you tight, get our hearts to sing old fire. Oh yeah, we sway with every change of tide.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We have to discuss the Daily Wire plummeting. Now, Daily Wire, big conservative conglomerate, you could even say, big media business, big media company, right? I would say the Daily Wire has, excuse me if I have crumbs on my lips, I was eating pizza, everyone, my apologies. The amount of influence the Daily Wire has had on the conservative or even the political discourse in the United States is huge, and it's difficult to deny. However, it's also difficult to deny the many failures that they have been running into, and it's also difficult to remove that from the fact that it was under Jeremy Boring's purview. Jeremy Boring used to be the co-CEO, you could say, of Daily Wire, and it's very interesting, and it has been interesting to see their steady decline, especially since the fall or winter time when Brett Cooper left. Now, the circumstances surrounding why Brett Cooper left was, of course, a bit mysterious. There was multiple theories thrown out there, but it's finally and fully coming into fruition, seeing the failures of this organization. And so it's difficult to deny the amount of influence they had. So I wanted to open up with this story first and foremost. But of course, before I do that, we just had another donation from No Easy Answers, $10. You wrote, missed the show, just made it out of a government training facility. Been there since December. Donate, you effers. I want to see that effing dog. Yes! I completely agree with you. Guys, donate so we can get Leo out. And of course, let me know Let me know if the audio works just fine. If it doesn't, everyone, if I'll be playing videos here and you can't hear it, of course. I always have issues with my audio, but no easy answers. Absolutely, I agree. If you guys want to see the beast, what are you doing? It's $70 is all it takes. Time to donate. Thank you so much, No Easy Answers. Okay, I'm going to start reading off this tweet. Pay attention to this trickle and the decline of the Daily Wire. Got the call today. Ethan Nicole, he got the call, everybody. My time in the Daily Wire and Bentke, I'm assuming this is this show, Bentke, has come. Let me look that up, actually. Bentke. I don't know. I thought, no, I think this is called Chip Chinchilla. So perhaps I'm unaware of what Bentke is. Unless it's like a subsidiary of Daily Wire. I know they had a children's segment where they have only children's shows. I think this show is called Chip Chinchilla. And this, for those that don't know, this chinchilla right here, the blue chinchilla, it is a knockoff show that the Daily Wire started. It was supposed to be a knockoff of Bluey, for those that don't know. Wonderful children's show. I have so much to say about Bluey, and one day I will talk about Bluey and the failures of that show, but we're going to just keep it on Daily Wire here. So Daily Wire had their own children's subsidiary, and I think that's what this is, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, my time at Daily Wire and Bentke has come to an end. Hold on, sound effect time. I wish we could have created so much more but I was treated very generously by Daily Wire and will forever be grateful for the job. It's scary not having a regular paycheck and security of a staff job, but I'm excited to reacquire the fire that joblessness puts under my ass. It's always led to bigger and better things. I'm thankful for this period of my life and looking forward to the next. Hopefully I can get through this without too much stress eating. And he put on this gif here. So very sad. Never easy to lose a job. I'm taking no pleasure in the fact that, this man who worked at Daily Wire was a part of that and had to lose it. But we've been seeing sort of the chips on the facade here, and this was one of them. By the way, this was posted just like yesterday. So here's another tweet. This is by a reporter, Will Sommer. Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire has been hit by layoffs. Once again, I saw the number 25% floating around, but I don't know if that's exactly accurate. Regardless, if it is in fact 25%, but even close to that, that's a pretty big decline. And I want to reiterate to everyone watching today that this is not just Daily Wire. We've seen this happening on AP, Associated Press, on CNN, more leftist, platforms, but still, we've been seeing major media companies sort of have to strip back their employment and even the media that they output. And so this seems to be an overall effect occurring of just major media in general, and not just leftist media or the propaganda arm of our government, but of course, hopefully not present government. But it is also being done on the other side. And it seems to this big wave of unemployment that has come across all other major media companies is also affecting Daily Wire and even the right-wing sector. So it's very unfortunate this is happening, but it also goes to show that people, especially younger people, but people of all generations just don't really care about traditional sources of media anymore. And it seems to be that even though Daily Wire isn't wholly traditional, like your CNN or your Fox News, it's still a media source that people just don't seem to really enjoy or trust all that much. But let's continue. Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire has been hit by layoffs just a few weeks after CEO Jeremy Boring, who was trying to become a sort of conservative media entertainment mogul, stepped down. A Daily Wire spokesman tells me, quote, as part of our ongoing plan to better align resources with business priorities and growth areas, the Daily Wire has made the decision to streamline and, in some cases, reduce some of our workforce. This decision was based on business needs and operational efficiencies. We are deeply grateful for our impacted employees for their contributions and in providing them with severance and career transition support. That's nice. That's good to hear. Not everyone does that. In fact, that's very generous of them if this is the case. So again, this is a spokesperson. Don't know how accurate this claim is, but if they're, doing this on top of the severance, then that's really good. More than what most organizations do, especially in this sector. Our focus remains on delivering the highest quality content and experiences to our subscribers while ensuring the long-term success of our business. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Who am I missing? And I'm not missing anyone. Okay, we have $5 from Nelson. Thank you so much, Nelson65. We are getting closer to the Unleash the Beast goal. You wrote, Nelson65, I know you're a big fan of Leo. Bring on the Beast. On another subject, have you thought on having a segment with Camille and Steffi, Women of Liberty on Culture, where AP assigns you guys a movie to watch and discuss? Nelson65, that is a very good idea. I'd love to have Camilla and Steffi on. That's a really great idea. Thank you for sharing that. Some reason that didn't come to my mind. But I will probably, now that you mentioned it, reach out to them and see if they're willing to do that. Also, even just, doing a movie review or watch and discuss is also a very interesting idea. So I'm certainly open to that, Nelson65. Thank you. Certainly will reach out to them and ask. But yes, thank you so much for everyone that are donating. No easy answers, especially you. You seem to be pretty excited about Leo. For those that aren't aware, no easy answers, not sure if you know this, or those that are also excited about Leo. I am a very humble pillow merchant, and I sell pillows. And one of the pillows that I have on the Culturama shop is a pillow of Leo. So let me show you how that looks like for you today. This is going to be a quick little break here. Don't mind me, but if you go to the AP for libertyshop.com, that's once again, that is AP number 4 libertyshop.com. You type in the Culturama collection and you see this pop up. Okay. You click on that. You scroll down and it's the first item on the landing page of the Culturama collection. It's called the Leo the Beast pillow. So no easy answers or anyone that's watching. If you want a Leo of your own, it's a very good quality pillow. I have the logo. I'm going to be getting this pillow here soon as well, the Leo the Beast pillow. So if you want your very own Leo, or if you want the Culturama logo or a small body pillow of me, that's also an option. Go to the Culturama collection online on the AP for Liberty shop, and there you'll have it. In fact, let me drop this in the chat here for anyone that is interested, okay? Okay. There's a link for the Leo the Beast pillow. If you guys are compelled to get it yourself.
Monster kill.
Also, don't let the price dissuade you, because there is a chance to win 20% off every time you visit the website. There is a spinning wheel at the bottom left corner. You click on that and you can win a chance to get 20% off. And if you don't get it the first time, come back the next day and you can get it then. Believe me, the Leo the Beast pillow are full in stock. So you certainly won't be missing that. So anyways, let's continue on with the story, everybody. Here is a Breitbart article also detailing this. I wanted to quickly read to you guys. Report: Daily Wire lays off employees from the kids department. So I was correct. It was Ben Key. What a strange name for a department. Conservative news website The Daily Wire has reportedly laid off employees from its kids department days after Daily Wire co-founder Jeremy Boring announced he was stepping down as chief executive officer. Kevin McCreary, who worked as a lead video editor for the Daily Wire Kids Department, claimed that the now deleted post on X, the news website, had laid off its entire kids department. Looks like it wasn't making any money. The Daily Wire just laid off its entire kids department, including myself, McCreary claimed in his post. So I'm free of work if you got anything for me. So there have been multiple tweets happening about this, okay? Unfortunate situation. I won't read this entire article. I just want to say that it's just confirming that it was a kids department. I just want to say this. When the kids Daily Wire Kids came out, it had a lot of naysayers. I was one of them. Of course, I didn't have a platform back then, so I couldn't, air out my grievances about it as much as I can now, perhaps. But a lot of people said this is probably a waste of money, and they're going to, in a way, reflect some of the failures of PragerU Kids. You have your shows like, in fact, let me see if I can play one of the trailers here. I know I may be beating a dead horse, but I want you guys to look at this and watch this for yourselves, okay? And tell me if you think this will be a successful show. This was supposed to be the leading show on their kids department, okay? Chip Chinchilla. Where is it? Is there a trailer? Let me see if I can find a trailer. I don't want to watch a whole episode, so... Okay, Ben Key Official. It was Ben Key Official. Okay, you guys watch this Bluey knockoff, which is exactly what this is, and I want you to tell me if you think this will be a successful show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too cynical. I'm not a kid anymore, for the most part. I have no kids. I have a dog. So perhaps I am tuned out of this, but you guys let me know if you think this would be something worth investing in.
Chip Chilla!
We are go for lunch. 10.
Sit still!
9.
Full ship ahead!
8.
We can take this.
7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Blast off!
parents, download the Bentkey app. New episodes available every Saturday.
So, here's the thing. It doesn't look like an awful show. I don't think it looks like an awful show. It looks like a decent show, but once again, if you just look at the characters, these are clearly like knockoffs. Why would people pay for a subscription service to play this for their kids if they can get something even better, more successful, and it doesn't cost as much money? So that's why a lot of people were kind of like calling the comments are turned off, of course. Well, it's YouTube Kids. So people were sort of like saying that this is perhaps a little bit of a waste of money. I do wonder what other shows they had. But anyway, we can look at that a little later. Here is a thread detailing this. However, people are saying they just wanted to downsize their children, their Bentkey. Bentkey is so weird, writes Mr. Pig. Slop. It is slop. It's slop that they thought would get them money. Does anyone know about the PragerU cartoon? You thought that was bad. That wasn't that bad compared to what I'm about to show you right now. Layla and Leo, I think is what it's called. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Is it called Layla and Leo PragerU? Someone in the chat must know this, right? Leo and Layla, that's what it's called. Okay. So, this is a PragerU show. I don't think some of you guys are prepared for this. I wonder if I can find a good clip. Right, conservative children's shows are very strange. Did they have an episode about Jews? Visionary Modern Israel. Strange. C.S. Lewis. These aren't bad. Where's the one with Christopher Columbus in it? I want that one. Oh, here's Reagan. Here, let's just watch a few minutes of this one, you guys.
It's here. This is it. The federal government just come in.
Excuse the ads. Sorry, I was looking at the general auto insurance ad. Can you play it again? Writes Pork Chop. Funny joke, Pork Chop. Well done. Okay. Like I said, if you thought the Chip Chilla one was kind of cringy, a little bit like, okay, I kind of see why the layoffs happened. Maybe a lot of people were like, you know, wanting the service. Like I said, that was supposed to be the leading show. Take a load of this, okay? Just get a load of this, you guys. This is PragerU. Look at the animation on that. Pretty smooth, right?
Hey, Layla. Why are you pulling down our neighbor's fence?
Today, this is not a fence.
Oh, yeah? Then what is it?
It's the Berlin Wall, and I'm Ronald Reagan, our 40th president.
And I guess that means you're here to tear down the Berlin...
Look at the beautiful animation we have. First of all, very smooth. I mean, clearly there's a lot of dimension to these characters, not just in animation, but quality, but also in their personality. They have pretty big personalities, right? Non-generic names, Leo and Layla. History Adventures with President Ronald Reagan, you guys. Now, look, I'm sure the people that worked on this worked very hard, but...
This talk about communists is making me hungry.
Well, Leo, communism makes everyone hungry. People living under communism...
I think it's a really good attempt at educating kids about, you know, like, for instance, the problems of communism. I think is fantastic. Why do right-wingers exceedingly fail in creative media? At least these days. Maybe not so much in the past, but like when you look at this, this is the last thing I want to watch. Even if I was like a 4-year-old kid, I wouldn't want to watch this. There's nothing...
Some are often poor. And
for those that don't know what the show's about, it's about a bunch of kids that can time travel through their phone, I think.
I guess you're right, but can we have a snack first? I brought jelly beans.
Leo, thank you. That's my...
We have $1 from Entropy Nomad. Thank you, Entropy. You wrote, I bought the pillow today. Does that add to the Leo total? Entropy Nomad, if you are being honest, if you bought the pillow, that can be added to the Leo total. Absolutely. Did you buy it in full price or did you get a discount? Let me know. And but I can certainly total that to the Leo the Beast meter. Absolutely.
Monster kill.
I think it's like $37, like $40 about for a pillow if you bought it in full price. And so how much are we at the donation here? Let's see. We have 5, 15. That's 20, 25. Okay, so 25. Yeah, we're pretty close, you guys. If we get just full price, you writes, okay.
Monster kill.
If we just get a couple more bucks in, we already reached our Leo goals. So thank you, everyone. And no easy answers. You will have a better shot at seeing him today. Anyways, let's continue on with the story here, okay? I'm going a little too long on this this bit about Daily Wire, so I think I'll end it here. But I did want to read part of this thread. It is a bit long, but let's just quickly read through this. Scoop. The implosion at Daily Wire is accelerating. What started with Jeremy Boring stepping down has now spiraled into mass layoffs and another firing of a senior executive, Alyssa Cordova, the vice president of public relations. Okay, there she is. The Daily Wire just fired Alyssa Cordova, their VP of public relations. Not the best thing to do. Especially when you're dealing with public relations issues in the midst of all this. And according to sources, Cordova was Jeremy's minion. The one who was responsible for crafting the company's aggressive and paranoid media strategy. Cordova allegedly stalked former employees online. This is all alleged, you guys. All alleged. Kept folders of clipped videos on their enemies. I wonder who those are. Helped wage internal vendettas against the guise of PR. Open source, the disaster of their PR strategy over the year was cooked up between Jeremy and Alyssa. Who would have thought? The Daily Wire is also shuttering its kids division entirely, roughly a quarter of the company. Okay, so 25% number makes more sense. And eternally, people are furious. One source put it bluntly. If they let Jeremy go a long time ago, many people would still have jobs today. Everyone knows it. So this all happened. How sad. By the way, this was the original animation style for Chipchilla. And then they just made it look like Bluey, which is sad. This looks a little bit more wacky. I like this. But under Jeremy's purview, not the best thing for Daily Wire. With a quarter of the company gone and its core leadership in flames, the big question now is, what happens to the people still there? Can Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, and the rest stay insulated from the chaos, or is it just the beginning of more turmoil to come? Okay, there you have it, you guys. Not looking the best for the Daily Wire, everybody. And we have already reached... Where's my donation? $20 from No Easy Answers. You wrote, we need a cartoon about how immigration is destroying Western civilization. Ben Shapiro loves curry. I love the dog. No Easy Answers. You have golden answers yourself here. I'm going to get Leo out. I'm going to dress him up, and we're going to open up with the next story about Elon Musk and Ashley St. Clair. You guys earned it. You have unleashed the beast, everybody.
Monster kill.
The meter has been fulfilled, everybody. And thank you so much, Entropy Nomad, for buying the pillow. And you guys earned it. You guys got him. You got Leo. I'll be pulling him out, so stay tuned. And while I'm gone, I'll be playing your guys' favorite commercial. Please go ahead, like, and share the stream. And let's get our viewership up. Let's also, hit the like button and follow if you haven't followed already. So thank you, everyone. I'll be getting Leo. Excuse me as I go and get him out of his cage. But the ransom has been fulfilled, everyone. Stay tuned.
Well, here comes Annie yelling like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have "Glad You Came Out" and "I'm so happy that you're queer" in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to
Oh, my little chihuahua, you run so fast. With your goofy little bark, always having a blast. When you dance on your paws, like you're on a string, chasing your tail. Oh, what joy you bring me, my tiny furry friend. You light up my day.
Monster kill.
Thank you, everyone. That is Leo on Unleash the Beast. And of course, as part of Unleash the Beast, Leo sits down with the rest of us and watches the news. And he talks about the news with us here today. And of course, I do have to ask him, Leo, what are your thoughts and opinions on the Daily Wire being cut back 25%? They have been facing massive layoffs. Ben Shapiro not looking the best right now. What do you think about this, my friend? Wonderfully said, Leo. Usually you have the wisest words on this show, so I do appreciate your input. Leo, of course, is he loves consuming Daily Wire media. He's a big fan of Michael Knowles. So thank you again, Leo. What do you guys think, huh? Leo has made it out. This is what you guys paid for, my dysgenic dog. And for those that don't know, he is inbred by, I believe, 3 or perhaps even 4 generations. So, you know, what matters here isn't so much his genetic quality as much as it is his heart. And he has a pretty big heart, everyone.
Oh, my little chihuahua.
Okay.
You run so fast. Burger! With your goofy little bark. Always having a blast. When you dance on your paws like you're on a spree. Chasing your tail. Oh, what joy you bring me.
This is
my tiny furry friend.
Rumble Runs more than Daily
Light
Wire
up my day. In your 1950 style, let's dance and play.
Okay, looks like we also have $10 by No Easy Answers. You wrote in all caps, put him in a little outfit. As you can see, no easy answers, we did. And of course, once again, $5 for No Easy Answers. Thank you so much for your generosity. No Easy Answers is the best. Absolutely no easy answers. You are the best. And I see your comments here. You guys are losing it in the comments. He is like the Beatles. Yeah, he is. Leo does like the Yellow Submarine quite a bit. Don't you, boy? Don't you? Yes. Okay. All right. He's going to sit here in my lap for as long as he can tolerate it. But we still have a lot more to cover. And it is Tuesday. There's no show after mine on the For Liberty Network. So we're not in a rush here, you guys. Is he as gentle in person as he is on the podcast? Yes, Nelson65. He, in fact, is not cowering in fear because he's on stream. Leo, in fact, is like this for the most, I would say like 90% of the time. Granted, he is a Chihuahua. He gets a bit uppity. He will bark if, you know, someone rings a doorbell or knocks on the door. The only time he really gets aggressive is if you come between, yes, him and his food. So, Leo, do you think you have Cushing's disorder? Are your cortisol levels too high up? What do you think? Oh, no, I think he's just a genetic disaster. Aren't you, boy? Okay. Anyway, back on the news. What do we have here? So, I also wanted to cover this before I brought Leo on. This is quite interesting, but Anna Paulina Luna defeats a GOP effort to block proxy voting for new moms and dads in blow to Speaker Johnson. Okay. Does this link to an article? Yes, it does. So let's read this one a little bit. Oh, and also we have Barney Styles. Thank you so much, Barney Styles, for the gifted sub. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm just going through your. It's enlarged. I'm just reading some of your guys' comments there. Okay. What New York Post, stellar news site as usual. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, not her real name, by the way, defeats GOP effort to block proxy voting. What does proxy voting mean? It means when a representative who is a parent, or you know, they just can't be there. Usually, it has to do with parents, but it could be other like familial issues or whatnot. Any reason why a representative cannot be present to make a vote. So they have proxy voting, and there is a conversation being had here about whether or not proxy voting should be a thing or not. I personally don't think it should. They have one job, and if they can't do that job, they probably shouldn't be in that position of power, because it is a very privileged position, and they have direct power on what policies are pushed onto us, and what taxes we should be paying for. So it's quite unfortunate to me, in my opinion, that when they have such a powerful position, they cannot even make it to work. I personally don't think proxy voting should be a thing, but alas, it is. But the GOP effort to block proxy voting, which has been a topic of discussion for quite some time now, she has dashed that opportunity for the GOP to rise that talking point, that issue up. Of course, I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll disagree with me. That's my opinion on the whole matter. I'm sure there's other reasons regarding this, but let's read this. Other reasons regarding why proxy voting should be a thing. I understand life situations comes up once in a while, but once it becomes a routine thing, that could be an issue. 9 House Republicans joined all 213 Democrats Tuesday to keep alive a bill that would allow lawmakers who are new parents to cast proxy votes for 3 months after their child's birth. The GOP revolt, spearheaded by Representative Anna Paulina Luna, was a blow to House Speaker Mike Johnson, who swiftly moved to cancel scheduled votes for the remainder of the week. Last month, Luna secured the required 218 signatures to a parliamentary tool known as a discharge petition, forcing a vote on her bill to allow proxy voting for new moms, pregnant women who are unable to travel safely or have serious medical conditions, and lawmakers whose spouses are pregnant or giving birth. Once again, now I have no doubt that conservatives and those on the left will say that this is an anti-woman position to suggest that proxy voting shouldn't be a thing. But I think, and bear with me here, but I really do think this is just a poor talking point, because at the end of the day, this goes for all of us that are in the workforce, all women that are working, and the issue is that if you're pregnant, or if you get pregnant, that is a risk. And so you need to be able to make it to work. And this is a major issue that I have with this situation, is that although I do understand the talking point to suggest that this, perhaps may be an anti-woman position, I also think, once again, this job isn't demanding enough, I think, to require proxy voting. Anyways. But of course, Anna Paulina Luna is trying to get her wins with certain demographics. So I also see where she's coming from. She's being a little bit opportunistic here, and it makes sense why she would do so. And a lot of female lawmakers would probably do the same thing. Yes, Leo, I know. Never bet against a Luna, the Florida lawmaker who gave birth to her first child in 2023 of August, cheered after the vote. Tuesday's vote came one day after Luna left the hard right House Freedom Caucus, saying they had blackmailed Johnson into trying to kill her petition. Democrats rallied around Luna's measure, with Representative Brittany Pedersen addressing the House with her crying 2-month-old. Oh, did you guys see that video? Oh, gosh. I don't know if they had the video here, but if you guys saw that video, let me see if I can find it. I do want to play it on. Where's her name? Here we go. Let me see if I can find this video, because this will really illustrate my point here, I think. They need to be present to vote, writes Nelson 65. Exactly, Nelson 65. I completely agree with you. Here's a video I'm talking about, okay? Today, my son Sam and I showed Speaker Johnson why you don't mess with moms. I'm sorry, this is cringe. Cringe! This is cringe. I hate this. Thanks to overwhelming bipartisan support, we stopped the Speaker's attempt to kill our resolution to allow new parents in Congress to vote remotely. This reminds me of COVID, if anything. This is a major step forward in our fight to remove barriers that will make it difficult for new parents to serve in Congress. I'm sorry, where are their husbands? If you are a female, had a kid, of course only females can do that. You had an infant. You have to be present to vote. Doing this remote thing, I'm sorry, because this just leads to other issues regarding that. And then, we already hear so much about representatives not actually taking their job seriously, taking long breaks. They don't even have to be there for the entire year. So I just take issue with this. I don't think this is serious. And if you really need someone to care for your infant, there are 2 parents involved. Do your job. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Do your job. Let's watch this. I loathe this video.
And I can tell you after...
She's a Democrat, whatever. We're not picking on that part. God bless her. God bless her and her kid, but I just got to say, this video, I absolutely despise when people do this. I saw Vivek do this just a few videos ago, or a few streams ago, where Vivek had his kids playing on the stage or where he was speaking at. I think it was somewhere in Ohio. Obviously, he's running for governor there, but he used his kids as a prop, and this is what this individual is doing. Brittany Pedersen. She's using her kid as a prop. This is not a place to breastfeed your kid, to bring your kid into. This is not that kind of a place, but she did it anyway.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to this rule, which restricts moms and dads from doing their jobs after welcoming a new child. Like so many of our colleagues, it's one of my greatest honors to be a mom. I have 2 little boys, a son named Davis, who's 5, and my little guy here, Sam, who's now 9 weeks old. It's also one of my greatest honors to have been elected by my constituents.
Exactly, Nelson65. I agree with you 100%. This is why women are not being taken seriously in positions of government. It's a natural inclination to see a woman with an infant like this. And, you know, I'm not saying being a mom is trivial. I'm sure it certainly is not trivial. It certainly isn't. You know, you're raising another human being. It's a big deal. We can all acknowledge that. We can all acknowledge that moms are important. But it's difficult to take seriously when women do this, or do something like this as a stunt, especially. It's very difficult to take them seriously. It doesn't exude the level of gravitas that it takes to be a representative, to be a member of Congress. And that's the issue I take with this. But, I mean, like, this video is just astounding to me, personally.
And I can tell you, after being a mom here and being only the 13th member to have ever given birth while serving in Congress, voting member, I can tell you we have a long ways to go to make this place accessible for young families like mine.
And if they, yes, accessibility is important, of course. But, and I do like the comment someone had here. Barney Stiles, you wrote, I'm torn between they should have to be present to vote, and with the technology, none of them need to be in DC at all. Exactly, Barney Stiles. And this is what the issue is. It's a slippery slope towards that. None of them have to be anywhere. None of us have to be anywhere, but presence is key and presence is important, especially for positions like this where you have to maintain connections and communicate and direct communications. I want to stress that these people get lobbied a lot. If you're not present, it is a sort of a detriment. And by having this in, first of all, women will be seen as a detriment, unfortunately. And, you know, especially if they keep having the kids and they can't be present, they just won't be present for their job. Therefore, they're not present for their constituency. And so that's why I take issue with this as well. But I'm not going to watch this entire clip with you guys, but it is a bit of a detriment what she's doing here with her kid and using it as a prop. I mean, I would never use anything as a prop. Obviously, I have a dog. This is different. Besides, he loves this. He loves this attention, don't you, boy? The reason why he loves coming here is because afterwards he gets a big treat and it makes him happy. Right, boy? Okay. But yes, disturbing to use your child as a prop like this. There's something within me that just... I feel icky when I see people do this. A very gross behavior to use your child as a prop like this. Exactly, Arizona Patriot said it best. If you can't show up to do the job, why did you even take the job? Exactly. Why even take the job? You won't be taken seriously. And if you can't keep it, maybe if you can't keep it, maybe don't do it. And no thanks to Paulina Luna, by the way, for doing this. Of course, like I said, she's doing this for a particular reason. Female legislators will do this quite often. They're trying to amass support from a certain demographic and a certain base of people. You know, she's a woman. She is quite celebrated in her position. especially as, moderately attractive woman in office. And she's trying to maintain, if anything, just her relevancy in all of this. So I don't think I have to read the rest of this article, but if you want to take any issues with Polina Luna, that's probably a big one you should consider. All right. Thank you guys so much for your donations and your generosity and your viewership. Our viewer count is a bit low, so I want you guys to continue sharing the link. I'm sharing it with your friends. Our viewership just jumped as soon as I said that, so thank you everyone that are tuning in here. Let's see what else we have. Yes, the Elon Musk story. Let me just pull that up. We won't go on commercial break right now, since I have everything that I need right here. And if you're new watching here, please hit the like button and the follow button. And who's ready to get loomered? Laura Loomer. Actually, let's play this clip first.
Why do you think that he did that?
That's a great question for her.
Let's start from the beginning.
I'm selling it because
okay, so
I need to make up for it.
For those that don't know, this is Ashley St. Clair, if you can't already tell. Ashley St. Clair, for those that don't remember, let me catch you up to speed. On Valentine's Day, just a little over a month and a half ago, she dropped a big bomb. She said that she had Elon Musk's kid, and he wasn't present for the kid. Elon Musk is, of course, paying her out. He can afford that. He can do that. But ever since then, she's been sort of on the down low, or the DL, as the kids say, on social media. And they just got in a tussle online just the other day. I don't think she's very pretty, writes Fari Waco. Fari Waco, I may have to agree with you on that one. They got in a bit of a tussle, and in response to this, she is selling her Tesla. Let's watch.
For the 60% cut that Elon made to our son's child support.
Why do you think that he did that?
That's a great question for her.
You feel like he was sort of like vindictive against you in some way?
Yeah, that's his modus operandi. When women,
his modus operandi.
When was the last time that you spoke to him or tried to speak to him?
February 13th.
But he's just not responding to you at all? How would you characterize sort of the way that he's going about?
You can check the stocks. I am.
Okay.
I'm not the only one.
We won't get to
that.
We're not going to do it.
There it goes. There. Bye bye, Tesla. Oh, she's just worried that she's not going to get her car may get vandalized, which is another reason probably. So this is a wacky Laura. Well, I'm sorry. She's not wacky. She's a great woman. I just want to say Laura Loomer is a fantastic woman. Last time I talked about her on my show, she wasn't too happy about that. So I just want to say, very wonderful lady this woman is. Gold digger and professional gaslighter Ashley St. Clair, which is kind of funny, it's true, was caught on camera outside of her ritzy Manhattan condo, paid for by her sugar daddy Elon Musk, also true. Laura Loomer's funny. Selling her $100,000 Tesla, she said, was gifted to her by Elon Musk during their romantic relationship. She said she's selling it to make up for $100,000 in alleged cuts to her child support payments from Elon. She took a jab at Elon Musk, telling people to check the Tesla stock, adding, "I'm not the only one cleaning up after Elon's messes." Ashley, as I reported, this is what Loomer is saying, has hired anti-Trump lawyers to sue Elon Musk. He was ordered by the court to take a paternity test. Okay, so this tweet is damning as it is on its own, but there was more to the story. This is what Elon Musk wrote in response yesterday. "I don't know if the child is mine or not, but am not against finding out. No court order is needed. Despite not knowing for sure, I have given Ashley $2.5 million and am sending her $500,000 a year." 500. How many of us, a lot of us will never see that income, this annual income in our lifetimes. This is an extraordinary amount of money. I don't think you should be able to have access to just for having a kid out of wedlock. Like, my God. Laura Loomer writes in response, sue for full custody. Everyone can see she is not being honest. Very generous of you indeed, Elon, of you to give her that much money after how disrespectful she's been to you. And then, of course, we had Ashley St. Clair herself respond to this. She wrote, Elon, we ask you to confirm. Do I have a good intense sound effect for this? Yeah. Elon, we ask you to confirm the paternity test through a test before our child, who you've named, was even born. You refused. And you weren't sending me money, you were sending support for your child that was necessary. $500,000 a year, that could cover quite a few children for one person, until you withdrew most of it to maintain control and punish me for disobedience. Okay, but you're really only punishing your own son. It's ironic that your last effort in court was try to gag me while you were... What's with this language? Punish me... Anyway, this is written in a particular... Maybe it's just me. Gag me while you use a social media channel you literally own to distribute derogatory messages about me and our child to the entire world. It's all about control with you, and everyone can see it. America needs you to grow up, you petulant man-child. So, the lawyer wrote it. We, the lawyers, on account now. Okay, fair enough. That's true. That's true. It could have been the lawyer that wrote this, which makes this even weirder. I don't know if the lawyer wrote this, though, because this reads to me someone who's very embittered. Now, she's a woman. She's very emotional. I feel as though Ashley St. Clair is very embittered. She claims that she has no feelings for Elon Musk, and, more power to her if that's the case. People saying that the child, I forgot the name already, if there was a name released, saying that the child is a test tube baby. I actually, my suspicion here, my conspiracy theory here, is that they actually did sleep with each other. And I know people have been saying this, like, so this is nothing new, but the fact that she released the information on Valentine's Day, she probably had knowledge and information about what Elon Musk was doing that night, or we could venture to guess, even ourselves. I mean, I don't have a relationship with Elon Musk. So if I ever make it big, it's because I did it myself, not because of Elon Musk. But, as a woman, I think, like, even I can guess without having a relationship with the guy. I even know that if you release something if you want to hit him where it hurts, do it on Valentine's Day. Especially a guy like Elon Musk, right? It takes no brain power at all. So the fact that happened makes me think that I truly believe Ashley may have some emotional connection with Elon. And this is sort of her embitterment coming out. Again, she's getting over $500,000 a year by this guy, and it's quite ridiculous that she's still doing stunts like this to get attention, which of course she claimed that she wanted privacy, and she's still doing stuff like this. Woman moment. Here's another article detailing this. Oh, here's a clear video of it. Hold on. Never mind. This website is worse than the New York Post, which is a feat in and of its own. Elon Musk's alleged baby mama says she's been forced to sell her Tesla after the world's richest man cut her child support in half. By the way, she's not 26. This is a fake, as people are saying she's in her 30s and that she's lying about her age. I don't have the source for that right now, but my previous stream when I was covering this, people have been coming out. There was other sources saying that she's actually older than 26. She lies about her age. She's known to do that. Was spotted handing over keys to her black Model S outside her Manhattan apartment on Saturday. She had some choice words for the man she says is the father of her son. Well, that's his modus operandi when women speak out, she says about Elon Musk. She calls him vindictive. Have you guys ever dated a woman where if you talk about her past relationships, all she says is negative stuff about her exes. The same goes for, you know, ladies, if you ever dated a guy and his exes are only bad, they call them evil, controlling, vindictive, that they could say nothing good about them. They're just bad. First of all, that's a red flag. I'm sure many of you know that. But this is sort of seems like what this woman is. Everything's bad about Elon. Never mind the fact that he's giving her $500,000 a year. He's vindictive. He's evil. Is bad. That's a big red flag right there. St. Clair said the last time she tried to speak to Musk was February 13th, but he did not respond. I wonder why. Maybe it's because he realized that he did it with a crazy woman. St. Clair went public in a bombshell post on X last month, sensationally revealing the Tesla and SpaceX owner to be the father of her baby boy. She says, Musk slid into my DMs, and we've all covered this before, but this is just a quick reminder. In May of 23, and the child, who has been named publicly by his initials RSC, so the name wasn't given out, was conceived in January 2024 on a trip to the island of St. Bartholomew in the Caribbean. Elon Musk's representatives did not immediately return the call, asking for comment. A source reveals that ever since she's gone pregnant, Elon has been providing support, which is the estimated $500,000. So she didn't even have to give birth to the kid. All she had to do is get pregnant. Boom, $500K paycheck already. So, and there are pictures of the Tesla. There's that. There you go. There's a stunt. Hold on. Yes, Mr. Pig. He took her on vacation to the Caribbean. And she's still upset. She's very mad at him. Apparently, he's very vindictive and evil and awful. That is one expensive prostitute, you guys. Would you pay $500,000 for that? I mean, by no means. I'm not saying she's ugly. She's a attractive woman where she wears makeup. But, you know, $500,000 worth, I don't know. There she is, selling or getting rid of the car here. Oh my God, is this a tree? Holy crap, look at this. So this is a transgender one, Vivian. There's so much to keep track of. So there's Justine Wilson. Okay, Grimes, very interesting pick. This is, I think, like the only normal one. And then Ashley St. Clair right here. So he has 4 concubines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 kids. This is his favorite. People say this one, X, whatever the name is his favorite, conceived with Grimes, is because this is one of the few that he actually naturally conceived. I don't know if that's true. That's a rumor, but that could very well be the case. But these two, I think, conceived through IVF, and that's why they had triplets and so forth. But I could be wrong on that. I don't really keep up with my Elon Musk lore, but there's a map if you guys are interested. What else we have here? Another picture of her with a Tesla. I love this picture. She also probably doesn't want to keep the Tesla because people have been attacking Teslas lately, but I don't know. Anyways, though, there you have it, you guys. Ashley St. Clair losing it online and doing stunts to get back at Elon here. Justine is his first wife. They had a kid before IVF triplets. Okay, Mr. Pig. Thank you for keeping me up with the lore. Very helpful to know. Good to know. But I do, from what I understand, the triplets, I thought I heard was due to the IVF. So I suppose later on is when they did it. The chicks think the hyperfixation will last forever. That is one expensive prostitute. I never heard that part. Yeah, they went on vacation. Never dated a woman, said Nelson 65. Heck, I'd have his baby for $500,000 a year, writes Nelson. Yeah, that's what people have been commenting, Nelson. People were writing that in the comments, men and women alike were saying, I want to have your kids, Elon. And they won't complain, and they won't sell their Teslas, unlike Ashley St. Clair. Oh my goodness, I missed a donation. My mistake. I almost missed a donation. Entropy Nomad! You're right, it happens to the best of us. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Yeah, entropy. I've heard it. I've heard many cases where guys do that and they their lives can get ruined. So, very true. Very true. Okay, you guys, I have a couple more stories I want to talk with you. Like I said, there's no time limit on today's Culturama episode. But what I am going to do is I want to talk about Donald Trump next. I know, a very bold choice, good sir, for this show. But Trump has said a few concerning comments about his third term. So I want to cover that. And we have a lot more to cover, so stay tuned. For the meantime, while I'm gone, don't forget to consider getting yourself a bag of Atomic Brew coffee we have on the Culturama collection on the AP for Liberty shop. I am not only a humble pillow sales woman, but I sell coffee as well. So if you could ever so kindly consider getting yourself a bag, if you haven't already. For those that did, let us know in the comments what you think of the coffee. And I'll be dropping a link in there as well. So I'll be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. And we shall return shortly.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean, we gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh, once I yet, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts we sing those choirs, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright, got too tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Day, oh, and we sway with every change of time. But in our hearts, old love and soul, that may be in our heart, getting like a thought ain't out. In this fast-paced world, we can fight. Traditions keep our hearts going wild. But you'll find in our hearts simple ways, we got it by the good old days.
Well, here comes Anita like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hayford doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that.
So for those that didn't hear that, someone's asking that if he will run for a third term, if Barack Obama should also run against Trump, and he's saying that he would love that.
I'd love that.
So, concerning that makes me believe that concerning the comments that Trump has made about potentially running for a third term, for those that don't know, makes me believe that Trump was making a joke. And I really hope that he is just making a joke. But let's read these articles together and see what we can decipher here, all right? Excuse me. Trump won't rule out seeking a third term in White House, tells ABC News. There are methods of doing so. Let's read this one together. Here's another video.
Third term, even though it's prohibited. President Trump is not ruling out the possibility of seeking a third term, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution's 22nd Amendment. He's joked about it at rallies.
It will be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice, or 3 times, or 4 times now.
But now, in an exclusive phone interview with NBC's Kristen Welker, he says that there are, quote, methods for doing so, and that a lot of people want me to do it. Asked to clarify, he said, I'm not joking, but added it is far too early to think about it. Asked about...
I still think he's joking, but, you know, I will say this platform on the Cold Trauma, we have been pretty big Trump apologists. I do have to say this is a bad look. I don't agree with him. Obviously, a lot of Americans don't agree with him on this, although some probably do. I see Mr. Pig in the chat is already writing it's worth the unconstitutionality of it. But I just don't think this is a good look for Trump. But anyway, let's continue.
One possible method, Vice President J.D. Vance running for president and then passing the baton if he won, Trump responding, quote, well, that's one, but there are others too. The president later speaking on Air Force One.
I don't want to talk about a third term now because no matter how you look at it, we got a long time to go.
President also threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil, telling NBC News by phone he was, quote, very angry and pissed off at Russia's President Putin for criticizing Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Supposed to be making a deal with him.
And after slapping 25% tariffs on all foreign-made cars, Trump telling NBC News he couldn't care less if foreign automakers raise prices. Wall Street now bracing for another potentially wild week, with President Trump's new reciprocal tariffs on other countries set to take effect Wednesday.
We have Liberation Day, as you know, on April 2nd.
Meanwhile, with protests at Tesla dealerships growing nationwide, overnight the company's CEO, top Trump ally Elon Musk, holding a town hall in Wisconsin ahead of a crucial state.
Wait, where's my sound effect? I need to get more. Need to get new sound effects. If you guys have a good recommendation for a sound effect, let me know in the comments, please. But I really need to get myself some new sound effects. There he is, Leo's looking at me like I've lost my mind.
Democrats are accusing Musk
That's
of
because
trying
I
to
did.
buy the seat. The billionaire has offered money to voters there who are willing to sign a petition against, quote, activist judges. Musk handing out million-dollar checks last night.
This is one of those things that may not seem that it's going to affect the entire destiny of humanity, but I think it will.
President Trump also telling NBC News he has no plans to fire anyone following that controversial Signal group chat where National Security Advisor Mike Waltz accidentally added a journalist to a discussion about sensitive military operations in Yemen. Craig?
Gabe Gutierrez from the White House there. Gabe, thank you.
Oh, whoops. Anyways, so that was a quick check on the Trump admin. There's always something going on. But it says here, President Donald Trump did not rule out the possibility of seeking a third term in the White House, which is prohibited by the Constitution under the 22nd Amendment, saying in an exclusive interview with NBC News that there were methods of doing so, and clarifying that he was not joking, everyone. A lot of people want me to do it, Trump said on Sunday. But, I mean, I basically tell them we have a long way to go. You know, it's very early in the administration. I focus on the current, Trump added, and some of his most extensive comments to date about serving a third term. I'm not joking, Trump said, but I'm not. It is far too early to think about. And so he wrote, he said there are methods in which you could do it. So let's hold on. NBC News asks about a possible scenario in which Vice President Vance would run for office and then pass the role to Trump. Trump responded that that's one method. So, like, sort of the mantle method that people have been Leo, please. Sharing that, like, passing down the mantle method, which I've heard been passed around a lot as a potential, it is a method, like Trump said. It's certainly an option, but of course, seeing how Trump has been reacting to Vance succeeding him, it doesn't seem like he's all too excited about it. So we're just going to have to wait and see about this. Also, it is too soon to see how Vance and him will get along together. in the following years. But like I said, time will tell. I certainly think that this partnership would be far more successful than Trump and Pence were in the past. But he also said there are other methods too. He was asked to share a method, and Trump simply responded with no. How about no? Amending the Constitution to abolish the two-term limit would be exceedingly difficult, requiring either a 2/3 vote of Congress or 2/3 of the states to agreeing to call a constitutional convention to propose changes. Yeah, constitutional convention, which is another option, and I have issues with that one as well. Either route then would require ratification from 3/4 of the states. So, very difficult to do. Is it possible? Yes, to get a third term as president, but to rally support in doing that is very challenging, and I don't think you guys, even Trump, can do it. But I don't know. Maybe he's the first guy that can. The president pointed to his poll numbers, saying that a lot of people would like me to hold office a third term. Trump has previously commented on running for a third term in office. The Republicans have seen his comments as just jokes or President trolling his critics. I really do. I am one of those Republicans, and I really do hope that that is the case. For instance, Representative Andy Ogles from Tennessee crafted a resolution calling for the extension of presidential term limits, which would allow Trump to seek another term in office. Meanwhile, Trump ally Steve Bannon said in an interview that he believes Trump will run and win again in 2028. Very good knowledge of the Constitution there. Bannon said in the same interview that he thought we'll have a couple of alternatives in determining how Trump would seek a third term, despite a 2-term maximum for holding the presidency. The White House has amplified Trump's comments, likening himself to royalty, posting a picture of a fake magazine cover depicting the president with a crown after the administration shot down congestion pricing in New York City. The White House post on X quoted Trump's previous comments on Truth Social, stating, "Long live the king." The Trump line, everybody. So, the lion, like the animal, not saying he's lying. So I do have a few thoughts on this, and you guys share in the comments what your thoughts on this are. But I don't know if he's joking. I really do hope that he is. Constitutionally, this is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not too happy about this one. But what I will say is that I don't think he's wrong or inaccurate in saying that most people would want him to want to run again. I can certainly see that being the case, especially considering who potentially could be the next runner-ups in 2028. It stands to reason whether other people will be worth it, if J.D. Vance will run or not. But I do think that most people would actually prefer Donald Trump over J.D. Vance even. When I had Paul Gottfried on this show, I don't know if you guys remembered, I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and I believe it was him that suggested that, yes, even though J.D. Vance shares a lot of the sentiments with Donald Trump, he just doesn't have that populist sentiment or that populist spirit that Donald Trump seems to have. And I think a lot of people would still support Vance and his efforts, but I just have a hard time thinking that people would be as impassioned about him like they are with Donald Trump. And that's just the way I see it, you guys. I really do think so. But this is my point with term limits. I like the concept of term limits. I think it is justified to have them. But I also understand the alternative argument in that term limits may not really be all that necessary if it really is up to the electorate to choose them and the people. And if the citizen really likes a particular individual, it makes sense why they would want to keep him in. At the end of the day, all elections are a popularity contest. And if people want a specific individual multiple times, even if it exceeds their term limit, it should still be a possibility. And I completely understand. Leo, stop it. Relax. I completely understand that the argument. I still am for term limits. However, I understand that argument, and I do consider it from time to time. And this is opening a broader conversation about the legitimacy of term limits, which a lot of people say that, with the citizenry and being up to them about who it is they want to be in office. If there's an individual that could be there for 10 term limits, it should be up to the citizenry's choice. And I agree with that. However, I do also want to assert this position, if you do take that viewpoint, that a lot of people either don't vote, or if they do, they're not educated enough about specific issues or the individuals they're voting for. And I see this happen, and you guys see this happen. And I like to think the people that watch me are pretty open-minded, are pretty educated. And I'm sure you guys have seen multiple times how people close to you, maybe people in your local parties, they just vote down the party line. They don't even consider the individual they're voting for, and that's the issue I have with it. And that's why I think term limits may still need to be the rule here, because it seems like a lot of people just aren't educated enough. There's no ambiguity. Trump can't run for a third term, period. The 22nd Amendment leaves none of the wiggle room that Trump's lawyers exploited in Trump v. Anderson. Let's listen to this.
An American president claimed in the United States,
Stop it,
presidents
Theo. Stop it.
are only
Relax.
allowed
I'll let you have a
2
minute.
terms. There are no exceptions. None. Pursuing a third term is illegal. It is unconstitutional. Indeed, I can just tell you up front, before I get to what Donald Trump is claiming, that an American president who might even try to pursue a third term would be barred from the ballot by the courts under precedent. So even if somebody wanted to do this and attempted to do it illegally, there is actually no such third term ballot to vote for. So there's no legal method to re-elect a president after their second term. The Constitution is clear on this, and let me just read it to you. Quote, "No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. The first election is 1 term, the second election is the second term, and that's it." Indeed, this long tradition.
Very good point by Bruiser55 in the chat. You asked, did Trump do this to give the press something else to talk about as a misdirection? Very good and salient point, Bruiser55. This very well could be an option here too. Donald Trump, as we all know, knows how to spin the media in a certain direction, and this very well could be what he's doing here. I do think, given Donald Trump's reputation as far as the entire American citizenry is concerned and the Americans' perception of him, I still think this was a bad move on his part to make a claim like this, considering what the opposite side has been saying about him. But at the same time, the inflammatory nature of partisan politics right now in the United States very well could be easily manipulated to his favor, and maybe he's trying to spin the media away from other things that are taking place. And if that is what's happening here, then Donald Trump may have an 140 IQ, and it's very well played on his part.
Began as a kind of norm with our first president, George Washington, choosing to stop ruling after 2 terms. And that tradition was to stave off king-like bids to hold on to power forever, to die in office, something that our founding leaders were so concerned about from what they viewed as quite corrupt kingdoms. It was later formalized.
So anyway, we don't have to listen to this guy. I just wanted you guys to see what the 22nd Amendment said here. Okay. Also in the news. So anyway, I'll be talking about Hooters here in a minute. But what is more important than Hooters, everyone, is the president. And so I don't know what your guys' thoughts on term limits are. Perhaps this will open the door to the conversation of the legitimacy of term limits. Again, I am for term limits. However, this is a common position to take and suggesting that term limits may actually not be as necessary. And hopefully this will open up a broader conversation. I am disappointed that Donald Trump decided to make these claims, or to make this statement. But alas, he said it, and I think Bruiser may be accurate here, is that he may have done this for a particular reason, to steer clear away from other things that are happening. And someone else in the chat mentioned Signalgate. No one's talking about it right now or today. That very well could be one of the reasons why he said what he said, because Donald Trump's not dumb. I mean, he knows the reputation and the perception people have of him. He did this on purpose, and that very well could be what's happening here. Robbie Thurman, it's okay if you're late. Thank you for joining the stream anyways. We're going to go on a little bit longer here. I'm not ending the show exactly at 7, so if you want to stick around a little bit more, we still have plenty of more stories to cover. But we were just covering Donald Trump saying what he said about running for a third term. Let's listen to this.
Comcast Business can help turn businesses into reliably up and running, cyber-securing modern
I'm
businesses.
gonna
Get started for $49.99 a month for 12 months.
Cancer,
Plus, ask how you get a
absolute
$500
cancer.
prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today.
Joining us now, staff writer for The Atlantic and MSNBC political contributor, Mark Leibovich. Mark, I struggled with this morning because I didn't want to. There's a part of me that thinks that this is a distraction from all the tariffs.
Bruiser, I think you're right. Even this lady sitting right here, it's all a distraction from the tariffs. Could be from the tariffs, could be from Signalgate. Maybe it's from the RFK, the JFK files. We don't know.
There's another part.
Did anyone end up actually reading that? Like the 10,000 pages of information, or I think it was actually more than that. Apparently, Oswald didn't do it. Anyways,
for me, that thinks
someone said, I forgot who it was that said this. I think Paulina Luna actually said this the other day. She said that there's hidden footage. A lot of people that are into the JFK conspiracy will already know this, but the hidden footage of Oswald being in the audience, so there's no possibility that he would have shot the former president, and that our authorities have been sitting on this footage for quite some time. I think it was Luna that said that. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but anything but the Epstein list. Exactly, Bruiser.
Of course he's going to run for a third term.
Good point.
I talked about him running for a third term, not respecting term limits, when I was writing my book about him in 2016. It's always been a thread that he doesn't respect limits on what his authority is. We certainly saw it in 2020. So how seriously are you taking this tossing off of methods for him to run?
I mean, I think if recent history is any guide.
Oh, the rumor says NBC is holding the tapes, Fiery Waco? Okay.
Suspect there's a good chance he will.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That sounds familiar. It's even worse than authorities. It was aliens that made LBJ kill Kennedy. If anyone has connection to Alex Jones, please let me know so I can have him on the show to interview him on Culturama. Okay, back to the Hooters story. I know this is the one you guys care more about than this man. So let's continue on with the stories. Leo, you might have to leave for this one, buddy. I'm sorry. I might have to let him out, you guys. Actually, maybe he'll stay for one more story. I know Leo likes Hooters. He is an old man. In human years, Leo would be 70, I think. No, not quite. Leo would be like 60 years old right now if he was a human, a 60-year-old man. I know he looks like a baby and he has neotenized features, but he's actually a very old, crotchety old man. So anyway, restaurant chain Hooters goes bust and files for bankruptcy protection. I was looking for a local Hooters previous to this episode, and I couldn't find one. The closest one is California, so I don't know if I'll go to Hooters anytime soon. A lot have closed down over the years, and the closest one to me is called Twin Peaks. So if I want my fix, I may have to go to Twin Peaks. I'm kidding. I would not go to Hooters. Hooters is going to bust. The U.S. restaurant chain, known for their chicken wings and its skimpy Hooter girls. I don't have to explain to you guys what Hooters is. I have an inkling that all of you understand what I'm talking about. They have filed for bankruptcy protection. HOA Restaurant Group filed the motion for Chapter 11 protection Monday and the North Texas Bankruptcy Court in Dallas. It's the latest legacy chain to run into financial trouble amid high food and labor prices, changing customer tastes and growing competition from newer casual chains like Shake Shack. I'm sorry, Leo, but you can't go to Hooters anymore, buddy. It was degenerate anyway. We've seen this happen with... I did notice that a lot of Chili's are closing. I think Chili's has closed down completely, or they are closing down completely. There's slowly... the Chili's, I managed to go to a single Chili's last year before they dissolved. But I know Chili's is dissolving. I know Red Lobster is dissolving. TGI Fridays. I just hope they don't take my Applebee's. I really like Applebee's. But Red Lobster, TGI Fridays, and Buca de Beppo. Really, I liked Buca de Beppo as well. All filed for bankruptcy protection. I'm a woman with simple tastes, everybody. But I do like fancy restaurants too. Filed for bankruptcy protection last year, while the Tex-Mex chain on the border, I've never heard of this one, filed for bankruptcy protection last month. Under the Hooters bankruptcy plan, 100 company-owned U.S. restaurants would be sold for a group of Hooters franchises. The franchisees, who include Hooters founders, currently operate 14 of the 13 highest volumes Hooters restaurants in the U.S., the company said. It's over for Hooters. The degeneration of society is finally coming to an end. For many years now, the Hooters brand has been owned by private equity firms and other groups with no history or experience with the Hooters brand. As a result of these transactions, the Hooters brand will once again be in the hands of highly experienced Hooters franchisees, and we will be well positioned to return this iconic brand to its historic success. What unfortunate circumstances for Hooters. I've never had the privilege of eating at a Hooters. I know Leo has, of course. But I think that the real reason why all these girls are Asian, which is very strange to me on this picture, but maybe it's in Seattle. But what I think the real reason why Hooters is closing down is because of this. So, Hooters hired all those transmissions, yikes, and DEI hires, and now they're filing for bankruptcy, laughing emoji, clown face emoji. Correlation does not equal causation, or does it? Yeah, I'm not going to say there's an objective standard for what people find attractive, but there's also a reason to believe that perhaps your average man or woman, if you roll that way, will not find this attractive on average. I know there's people out there that have their likes and their dislikes, but of course, I'm not gonna rate these people, but there's something weird going on here, and maybe there's a reason why Hooters is closing down. I'm just saying. Okay, well, there you have it. Welcome to the new Hooters of the future. Hooters is closing down. Do they at least serve pancakes there? Those who ate at Hooters, what else do they serve there? Here's an idea: a Hooters but with goth chicks. Bruiser 55 Bruiser 55 is telling on himself in the comments, but with goth chicks. I know, that'd be pretty fun. It depends what they're wearing. My brother took me to Hooters and I didn't find the food that impressive. What do they serve there? Is it like pancakes, or is it like a Denny's but with women in there? I don't know. I've never been. Where I live, we have a lot of the bikini coffee stops, if you guys know what I mean. And it's just like those not kiosks, it's like the little coffee booths with women in them, and they wear bikinis, and you can go there. And I've heard that if you pay extra, they'll like do something to your drink. And somehow that seems to be to me, that sounds far more concerning than whatever Hooters was. But Hooters about pancakes, writes Mr. Pig. Mostly fried food. Okay, so they had like chicken wings, bar food. Got it. Sounds like a disaster for my acid reflux. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't go. We have a lot more to cover, you guys. I need to get Leo out of here. He's a bit antsy since he's heard that Hooters is closing down or filed for bankruptcy. He's pretty distraught. So I'm going to have to let him out. But I want you all to say goodbye to Leo. Okay? And say goodbye to Leo. We'll see him next time. He's going back to the cave. Call it moist waffles. Okay, I will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. And we'll be covering just a couple more stories here with you today.
In the diner, sipping slow to pop, jukebox tunes that never stop. I see faces from different scenes, lost the culture on a different dream. We walk down the same old street, but our stories never meet. Different worlds side by side in this twisting 50s ride. In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway. In the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. With a flagpole planted firm, golden dreams that won't decay, marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's sky. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. flash in the night. Opponents stand side by side. Cultures collide, nowhere to hide. This meet dreams in the street. History on repeat. Our world's in a spin. Let the future begin.
I'm glowing in the night, shining like a star in this atomic age, and brighter by far. Untouchable energy, it's a glowing affair. Ready, ready, I'll take you everywhere. I'm untouchable now, feel the power in the air. Radioactive rhythm, but sense without care. Electric and alive in this atomic embrace. Unstoppable now in this glowing space.
Rolling like bugs to the night. Freedom's calling, gotta rise and fight. We'll stomp 'em out with all our might. Watch 'em scatter in fear and fright. Crushing commies beneath our shoes like tiny pests with nothing to lose. Crushing commies, our anthem strong. Stand united where we belong.
Okay, everyone, I did receive a meme from a follower of this channel on Twitter. It was sent from Robbie Thurman, and I think this picture is quite funny, so I wanted to pull this up for you guys. Hold on a second. I remember this picture. How many of you people remember this picture? Women are not decorations. Some women are not decorations. This was back in the good old days when Hooters waitresses knew their place. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Robbie Thurman, for for sending me this. Okay. There you have it. Some of you guys are making up business plans in the comments here about making a Hooters with goth ladies and short women. You guys just keep telling on yourselves in the chat there. Anyways, did you guys see this? Speaking of the longhouse, by the way, because we are living in the longhouse, and women are indeed affecting us in our society quite a bit, as we've seen with the previous pictures of the modern day Hooters waitresses. As you can see here, there is quite a bit of a difference on what we find attractive these days. I don't know who this individual is. I guess she's an artist. Erykah Badu. That's one way to spell Erica. But she came out wearing this beautiful design. What do you guys think about this, huh? What does this remind you of? Speaking of the longhouse, what does that remind you of? Terrifying. So, for those that don't know, this is what I put up. I quote tweeted this artist and with the Venus of Willendorf. For those that don't know, this is an ancient symbol. This is supposed to be an overweight woman. Now, type 2 diabetes, writes Bruiser. Yeah, that's just the cost to a type 2 diabetes. But I don't know if it's been confirmed whether or not this woman wearing this outfit was trying to emulate the Venus of Willendorf, but I certainly do think that there are key elements appropriated from it. And in this video, I don't have the video pulled up, but in this video, she says that she wants to thank women. Let me see if I can find it. Erykah Badu. I completely misspelled it. Does she not say it? Oh my goodness. Where is that video of her? Here's a video. There she goes in her outfit there.
Thank you so much. I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be born a woman. I'm coming. I want to thank my mother and all the mothers. Miss Tina, you said it well. All the mothers. I see Doji's mama out there.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting a little nauseous. This is not a reflection on her music style or her music in general. I'm sure she's a great artist, but I don't know what this is supposed to be. A lot of people were mocking it for right reason, but people were comparing it to there was this caricature of black woman. People were confused about whether or not this was supposed to be a caricature of black woman or if this certainly was supposed to be emulating some key artistic elements from the Venus of Willendorf, like I quote tweeted with that ancient fetish symbol. And for those that don't know what the Venus of Willendorf is, before the Neolithic Revolution or the primitive agricultural revolution, people used to be very female-centric, gynocentric, if you will, in how their society is organized and also in the deities that they worshipped. And a lot of fetishes or these little tokens of like these figurines these people would create and cling to, sociologists, historians today believe that these fetishes and these tokens, like the one that I quote tweeted right here, were used as a fertility symbol to hopefully, bring in more crops and bring in more, I would say, better weather patterns for them. And so this is why I'm sort of like quote tweeting this with this image, because it is so primitive. It's going back to the way when the chaotic feminine was the rule and not the exception of society. Because as we have come to see, if you look throughout human society and the evolution of such, that when most cultures become more patriarchal and become more hierarchical, what tends to occur is that those societies become more advanced and productive, industrious, and they expand. They don't just stay in their niche communities and their tribes, and they are actually open-minded enough to go and discover and search for new land, to cultivate that land, to hunt other species, and to build the societies and propagate them and to expand those societies. And so this is why I showed this picture, because this is hearkening, this image you see behind me is hearkening to a time when societies weren't like that. They weren't patriarchal, they weren't hierarchical, and this is what a lot of people mean when they refer to the Longhouse, when it was very matriarchal, very gynocentric of these loose-knit tribes. And so when I look at this suit, I want to stop at this one in particular. When I look at this suit, there is a part of me that goes way back, a part of my human consciousness, my genetic memory that goes way, 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 way back in the Volga region where my Slavic peoples come from. And it makes me think of this dark period in the history of human evolution when we did not have the ability to cultivate land, the ability to expand forth. And so that is why I quote tweeted what I quote tweeted. And it's time to break from the Longhouse, everybody. This is America. We press Coco Pelli here, writes Barney Styles. Beautifully said, Barney. Okay, speaking of hierarchy and patriarchy, did you guys hear that Silicon Valley is becoming more Christian? I saw this article, Vanity Fair, go around quite a bit. So let's skim this through together. This may be the last story of the day. So let's get this through together. But Silicon Valley once was a place where atheists and agnostics thrived, maybe even some Buddhists. But Christians, not Christians. Very difficult to be a self-proclaimed Christian and make it big in big parts of California, professionally, particularly Hollywood and Silicon Valley. Let's read this. Apparently, this is not the case anymore. Okay, do I want to read this whole article? Probably not. It's a pretty long one. Believers like Gary Tan are flipping the script in the venture capital world, making faith matter just as much as the ability for a turn of fortune. Says one entrepreneur, there are people that are leveraging Christianity to get closer to Peter Thiel. Interesting. Okay, we are here to listen to a conversation between Dr. Francis S. Collins. It was a doctor, former director of the National Institute of Health and leader of the Human Genome Project, and Gary Tan, the president and CEO of Silicon Valley's influential startup incubator Y Combinator, which has hatched thousands of tech companies with a combined valuation of more than $600 billion. Okay, so these are very successful individuals. What is a real basis of morality? Collins asks the crowd. Why am I here? What happens after I die? All questions humans have to grapple with at some point in their lives. Collins, I like this description, a thin, owlish man, gazes solemnly at the crowd, which already seems to have a sense of where this is going. Science, he says, can't really give you an answer. But there is another answer to these questions, and it has to do with one Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whom Collins encountered as a 20-something medical student grappling with the limits of atheism. I actually have Francis Collins' book. I forgot what it's called, but there's a very popular book he wrote about his coming to faith. It's actually a very powerful book. I'm not a big fan of Francis Collins, but I do recommend. What am I recommending? I don't remember the title. He has written quite extensively about his walk in Christianity. It's a very powerful story. I've never really hit a situation where what I know as rigorous scientist, but I believe as a Christ-centered Christian are in conflict. Okay, let's skip forward. Of course, there have always been Christians in Silicon Valley. They just knew better than to advertise their faith. That is to say, Christians were effectively in hiding. Makes sense. And one specific place they were hiding was, according to Tan, on a spreadsheet made up of Christians and tech, which was passed around for years among a dozen or so of the techno-faithful. One of them was Tri Stevens, co-founder of the defense tech company On Drill and a partner of the Founders Fund, a venture capital firm co-founded by Peter Thiel. It's all coming together. Stevens, like Tan, has lately been speaking publicly about his faith in the context of Silicon Valley. He has hosted a Bible study reflecting on the teachings of René Girard, a French philosopher, in the certain libertarian-leaning tech circles. Okay. It is spoken at his church about the connection between Christianity and innovation, and written in what seems a slightly contorted interpretation of the gospel, slightly contorted, about how basic venture investing principles are an exemplar of divine forgiveness. Very interesting indeed. We are entering into a new era of techno-feudalism. And this resurgence of this very old philosophy and tradition, such as Christianity, being reignited back, just goes to show that we are not only entering into a new period of cultural development, but that Christianity, there's something about Christianity specifically, at least among Western civilizations, that will never completely die away. I know what they're saying about Generation Z being the least religious generation in existence of the human race, or at least in America's development. And although this is true, I really don't think this is for long. It seems to be that the reemergence of Christianity and the principles of Christianity, and even the aesthetics of Christianity, which unfortunately I think most people are getting into for that reason, especially new converts into Catholicism and Orthodoxy, but I digress. That's just what I've come to see with young people. But there's something about Christianity and its consistent reemergence in culture that just does not go away. In Protestantism, or in the evangelical wing of Christianity, even there is there's a term for it. Why can't I think of it right now? It's an awakening, so to speak. We used to call it the Great Awakening, if you are familiar with Christian history. But all throughout the evolution of Christianity, ever since, even before the Reformation, even the founding of the Catholic Church, up until what Christianity is now, it has gone through multiple alterations, especially since the Reformation in Europe, and it has come here to, the United States. It has survived as such in multiple different denominations. And so Christianity can live in multiple spaces at once, through the form of different applications and different denominations, but it all remains the same. And, although there are some doctrinal differences between denominations, I know that, Catholics may not agree with me. I don't agree with all Catholics. It's whatever. But at the end of the day, Christianity is ever evolving, and it's coming to find awakenings in every generation. And although, I don't know if this is going to be some great awakening in Silicon Valley, it still remains to be seen. Why is it like one of the most godless fields, like the tech industry, seems to be attracting these kind of people? And you could say this is all headed by Peter Thiel, and because of his influence and his success, that's what's causing this to occur. Perhaps you could say that, Elon Musk's continual references to traditional style organization or conservatism is also making people sway this way in Silicon Valley. I think there's some truth to it. Yes, in a way, this is kind of like the Pied Piper. But at the same time, who's to say that this isn't just one way that Christianity survives? And this is one of the ways that God is utilizing these people to retain the message. Anyway, I'll get off my pedestal. Revival, Barney Styles. Thank you. Great Awakening works as well. Revival is another word that I was searching for. It's one of the revivals. And if you're familiar with the Protestant history and the history of Protestantism and even evangelicalism, you'll come to find out how important these revivals are. And they come from, I would say revivals have been happening for the last 200 years at this point. One of the greater revivals. So this could be a form of a new age revival that is happening. So could also be young people searching for more meaning in life after the pandemic, writes Bruiser55. Bruiser, you are just full of all the correct answers. Very well done. I agree with you. This also could be a search for meaning, especially with the younger generations getting into traditional elements of Christianity, like Catholicism. Also, young people just need that rudimentary, even the aesthetic appeal of it. Young people need tradition. They need something like this. It is for a time period that they've never experienced before. Younger people these days didn't grow up with those niche, tight-knit communities, didn't grow up in small schools. I had that opportunity because I went to a Christian school. It was in a very small community, so I sort of had that old style upbringing that I was very blessed to have. But a lot of younger people don't have that these days. A lot of younger people don't even have they don't have both of their parents in the household. And that really can, I'm not going to say destroy a person, but it really alters the course of their life. And this is why they're seeking out this tradition and this meaning and something just to believe in, because they never had that structure before, especially if they don't have a father in the home. Okay, let's continue reading just a bit more. Part of the problem is that for most Silicon Valley's existence, its overarching monoculture privileged a certain type of smart person. It was a kind of smart person who campaigned for Barack Obama, marched for gay rights, and built a custom prayer stool to complement their priest fetish at the Folsom Street Fair. The Folsom Street Fair is utterly repulsive. The subject of ethics was brought up frequently, but almost exclusively in the context of their non-monogamous relationships. Again, just bring them back to home, how progressive these people were. Black Lives Matter signs sprouted from their yards, and if they strayed beyond the strictures of atheism into spirituality, it was one of the Eastern variety. Being Muslim was actually kind of cool, because if you were against that, you're probably xenophobic, right? And Judaism was all right too, because anti-Semitism was not yet in vogue. Oh, brother, Vanity Fair, relax. Maybe you know this person, or maybe you are this person, because it's a personality that, while largely original to the Bay Area, has saturated mainstream consciousness so thoroughly as to become stripped of all of its original subversion. You don't need to do much guesswork to see why smart Christians in Silicon Valley are growing more emboldened. After all, there are billionaires among their ranks. One of them is Peter Thiel, who has spoken about his evangelical leanings for more than a decade. Evangelical, you say? For more than a decade, and who has lately shared his view on his faith with increasing frequency. I believe in the resurrection of Christ, says Peter Thiel in 2020. The only good role model for us is Christ. In watching talk after talk of Thiel speaking about his faith, I found myself genuinely puzzled, said the writer. Not because Thiel lacks conviction, but because his thoughts on the subjects are so galaxy-brained that it seems like he's playing a game of 3D chess that the rest of us are only catching up to. Quote, when you don't have a transcendent religious belief, you end up looking around at other people. And that is a problem with our atheist liberal world. It's just the madness of crowds. True. True. And it's not only Thiel. Last summer, in an interview with Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk described himself as culturally Christian, which, by the way, means like literally nothing as far as your salvation is concerned. Now, I am a Christian. People that watch this show know this about me. I don't talk about my faith all that much because this isn't a show for that. However, I am a Christian. When people tell me they're culturally Christian, I kind of like glaze my eyes over that because like I don't really take it seriously. Now, is there a place for cultural Christianity in the United States and for the Western world? Yes. And I actually believe not all, but a lot of Christians in the modern world are just culturally Christian. They're just aesthetically Christian. There's not much meaning there. There's not much meaning in their walk in faith. But I don't like to question people about that because at the end of the day, I'm not God. I'm not there to critique or, criticize their salvation. I don't really even, care all that much. It's between them and God, right? But that's why I'm a libertarian. But cultural Christianity, I don't think is like the type of Christianity that Peter Thiel is talking about. However, even though there's problems with asserting this view of Christianity as far as one's, I think, salvation is concerned, and really their internal ethics are concerned, I will go to say that at least aesthetic Christianity or cultural Christianity is requisite and necessary for a functioning society. You don't actually have to be Christian or believe Jesus Christ died and rose again in 3 days. I do think you need to believe that to be saved, but that's me. But the ethics that surround that culture of Christianity and the genesis of Christianity, I'm not referencing the Bible book, I'm talking about the other type of Genesis. I think that the values and the practices and the heritage and the culture that emanates from that is necessary for a functioning and successful society. We've seen that in history, and we can see it again. We may need another revival, a Christian revival, that does convert souls and people. But at the end of the day, the type of Christianity that Elon Musk is clinging to, I think, is the one that many Christians are clinging to. I do believe in the teachings of Jesus are good and wise. He said, to have two of the world's technologists worth a recently estimated $4 billion for Musk and $14 billion for Thiel. Those are rookie numbers. Thiel needs to catch up. Speak admiringly about biblical teachings challenges the view of Christianity as an anti-capitalist or even anti-intellectual. Meanwhile, downstream, Thiel and Musk are people like Tan, who is busy shepherding the Valley's next cohort of entrepreneurs, and who occasionally tweets scripture from his X account. So what do you guys think? Do you think that there really will be a new reinvigorated revival of Christianity, another great awakening? Or do you think this is just a fad? That's a question I'll leave up to you guys. Well, I think we had a pretty eventful show today. We've covered quite a bit. And even Leo managed to show him his face on here, which is always a treat for you guys. I know you enjoy it. Oh, excuse me. But it'll really be interesting to see where this goes culturally. Regardless of whether or not Thiel or Elon Musk is running this movement, or this, this subculture, you could call it like a techno feudalist culture, I still think it is necessary for the revival of Western excellence in the United States as we continue forward. Christianity is really one of the great foundations of the development of Western culture, writes Bruiser55. And Bruiser, I'm going to have to agree with you and end it there, because that pretty much summarizes everything I just said. Okay, you guys, I think this has been a great episode. What I'm going to do is I'll ask you one more time. It looks like Entropy Nomad has purchased a Leo the Beast pillow. I highly encourage you to buy yourself a Leo the Beast pillow. Also, we have more pillows on the Culturama shop. Once again, that is ap4liberty.com, the ap4libertyshop.com. Once again, that is the letter A, the letter P, the number 4, ap4libertyshop.com. And you type in Culturama collection, and there you will find a bunch of Culturama items, pillows, sweatshirts, mugs, and your very own Leo for yourself. So I already have mine, right? Nelson, Leo. This should just be Leo's show. So yeah, if you want more of those, it's a great gift for yourself or for someone if that likes the show. And also, if you want to go and support the show in a consecutive number of time, you can go and get a consecutive donation, or put in, not a consecutive donation, but you can purchase a consecutive purchase of coffee every 2 months or every month or every couple weeks, and you'll get that sent in, and that way you're supporting the show for a good amount of time. So the Bible tells of a revival in the end times, just saying. Robbie Thurman, we are perhaps living in the end times. If you think about it, every day is a day closer to the end times if you believe in linear time. I'm jumping back and forth whether or not I think time is cyclical or strictly linear. Maybe it's a bit of both. I am a determinist, however, so what you make of that, I have no idea. Let me know if you will have the Ladies of Liberty segment. Of course, Nelson65, I'll let you know. Of course, I'll announce it on stream, and I'll make sure to ask him about that. And thank you for your suggestion. Okay, you guys, it has been a wonderful episode. I want to thank you. Let me do my little outro song here. Let's see, what should I play? I always play Power, so that's the name of the song.
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the...
Okay, everyone, I want to thank you in joining today's stream and in trying to reclaim the zeitgeist of traditional Americana back into the United States. I hope you have a lovely evening, and together, let's take back tomorrow today. I want to say thank you, everyone that has showed up, that have donated, and so together we can have these fun conversations and reports. Let's all reclaim the future and take back tomorrow today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you on Thursday.
Are going down with a flagpole planted firm, golden dreams that won't decay, marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's sky. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now.